We'll start with our opening
Can you
prayer.
not do that, please?
Now, just so we can come up and do the opening prayer first.
We're going to pray. Amen.
Thank you, Josephine.
Can you stand up here?
So I hereby call this nomination meeting to order at 5:23 p.m. on March 14, 2023 in LRRR. I'll read section 13.5 and 13.4 subsection 6. 13.4 subsection 6. No elector shall nominate or second the nomination of more than one person. Section 13.5. At the start of each nomination meeting, the Chief Electoral Officer shall announce that the nomination of candidates is open to only those electors who submitted declarations of intent by the specified time and who are qualified to run pursuant to this Act. I just want to go over the agenda. We'll start with nominations for chief, and then the chief candidates have 15 minutes, and their nominators have 5 minutes. And then we'll start with nominations for councillor, and then the candidates have 15 minutes, and their nominator has 5 minutes. I just want to do a little reminder that the nomination will be recorded and live streamed so they can hear everything in the background, like when you guys are speaking. So just a little heads up. So I hereby open the floor for nominations for chief.
Hello, Lorraine, how are you? My name is Warren Beatty, and I hereby nominate Comrade Bird for chief. I got a little speech here written, so I'll do that as quick as I can. 5 minutes goes by fast. I'd like to thank you all attending the nominations for chief and council. I'd first like to thank the elders. Thank you for the prayers for coming. Also for the election committee. Thank you all for all your hard work that you have, and that's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. I'd like to say good luck to all the candidates and pray for safety on their campaign trails, and as we all try to make Montreal a better place. We're all here for one common goal: to choose a leader that will ensure success, integrity, and accountability in Montreal Lake Nation. I have nominated Comrade Bird for these exact reasons. I'll give you a short biography of Comrade Bird. He's had many decades of experience working with business, accounting, management, and multiple First Nations along his business experience. He's got business experience with the government in all processes of First Nations. Conrad is an educated man with a degree in business and many years of experience in working with other First Nation businesses, and is also going for his master's. Conrad has been the band manager for the last 4 years for Montreal Lake, so as many of you probably have ran into him in the last few years, but I believe that through that he's helped a lot of people, and he's shown a professionalism and accountability to the reserve, even if he wasn't as in the leadership as a councillor or a chief. He was still helping us to be accountable to each other and to the First Nations. Chief Comrade Bird will bring his experience and ability to lead our great nation. We need a chief to fight our battles for us as a First Nation. Fight to make our communities successful and prosper. When time comes to sign on the dotted line to help our communities, he will be there to lead our community into the next generation of leadership. I believe that Conrad Bird, as your next chief, will bring a new level of independent and community business success to help take Montreal to a better place where we're no longer dependent on federal funding, where we no longer accept handouts, where we make our own future towards self-governance and determination. Conrad has commitment to his community, inclusion, and involvement. He will bring our voice back to our people, involving each program committee and the program managers in band decisions and the goals. These are values that need to be restored with Montreal. I believe that Conrad Bird as a chief, our community will become a stronger, united community. The importance of accountability and transparency in our First Nation government is a priority for all First Nations. Informing band membership of all community planning initiatives and gives the community a truer picture of where we are financially. Restoring trust and leadership and rebuilding accountability to band membership. Last few years have been tough on Montreal, tough on urban members, on reserve and off reserve. Conrad will help us as chief to reunite our First Nation diligence to make sure all of us are cared for, make sure more of us are working, and make more of us proud to be Montreal Cree Nation members. Our youth, our women, and our elders must be involved. Conrad will bring this up later in the speech too, that we got to do a lot more for our elders and our youth and our women. I believe Conrad can do this for our Cree Nation. I believe this. Our team believes this, and I ask you as voting members to believe this and truly vote for a stronger community. Vote for a united community, and most importantly, vote for Conrad Bird as a chief for Montreal. Thank you for the time to listen to me. And thank the election committee for their continued hard work. And to the volunteers. It's now be my great pleasure to introduce to you the Montreal chief candidate, Conrad Bird. Let's give him a hand as he will, and welcome him to the podium.
Thank you very much, Warren. Good evening. My name is Ron Beatty. I'm a deputy electoral official as well. And we did have this presentations last night by the chief, so they usually can travel with their nominator and seconder. Did you bring your seconder tonight, or? Yeah. Okay, so you can just second it, and then you can carry on. I don't remember from last week.
My name is Alan Conrad. I second the nomination for Conrad Bird for chief.
Thank you. We had a lot of people last night, so I'm not going to remember. So if we could have Conrad up here for his presentation. Thank you.
Well, good day. I'm wearing my cap today because I had a bad hair day. And I just wanted to say thank you for, once again, for the community of Little Red showing up here for the speeches, and everybody, and all the candidates that showed up as well too. And as we continue to look at this leading the nation and from one spot to another, that I'm very excited about the energy and the excitement in regards to going forward and leading the nation. And I think this is one of the things that, as part of one of the questions has always been asked, are you running against somebody? I said, no. Why? Well, I'm not running against it because all I'm doing is putting my hat in so that people have a different option, have a different opportunity to choose something. And so this is the reason why we're having an election, because that's what it's about. It's not against anybody, and it's not against anybody. We're all related. We're all, at the end of the day, we all got to work together. And I think that's one of the things we got to remember when we do this election. So, without further ado, hello. I guess I'll have to call everybody my relatives. Might as well, because somewhere down the line we are related. So, I am humbly seeking your support to be your leader. I have been band manager 4 years now. We were challenged with a debt, and we have successfully came through it. As your chief and leader, I ask to continue this journey of nation building. It includes each and every one of you. I pray for the wisdom, discernment, and understanding for the benefit of the nation. I had a longer speech and I said more yesterday, and I think it's already on recorded, and I'm pretty sure if anybody wants to see it, you'll see the recording. But what I wanted to share here basically is a little bit different. Every community is different, just like every First Nation is different. Every community is unique, as every other First Nation is unique. Everybody has a different unique situation, a different unique issue, and a different unique demand. Every one of us has that. And recognizing that difference is basically, for me as your future leader, is understanding that and actually trying to make a difference in that area. One of the things that I do end up doing the best that I do is basically I listen and I help with solutions, and I also end up helping finding money. That's the biggest thing I do. But if that's not what you want, then I'll know you will choose something different. But that's what I do. Anyways, at the end of the day, what I wanted to say was to everybody, each and every one of you, I want to thank you for coming up here and listening again. I didn't want to say the same speech as I did last night, and because I went back home and I said, well, I've got to think about what is it that I'm presenting to, what is the benefit that we bring into Little Red. And that is the biggest question I had last night, and it tormented me last night because I thought hard and hard about it. What is the benefit am I going to give to the community? What am I going to bring? What am I going to give them that's different than everything that they had before? And I kept thinking about that last night. And I said, one of the biggest things I heard throughout the 4 years there from counselors and everybody was that Little Red has always been forgotten. That was one of the things that came up. And the other thing too was that came up was Little Red wanted to do their own administration. And then there's so many different things that Little Red has a demand for, and because it's so unique, it's totally different from what we have at the mother band. And sometimes that gets overshadowed in those desires. So what I'm saying is, part of the whole thing that we're looking for in this leadership is understanding and noticing those differences and those nuances that other community members want and need. We have different lifestyles. We have different demands. And I think that's one of the things that I wanted to say up here. As being your future leader, I can see that difference. And one of the biggest things I want to say too to Little Red is, sometimes maybe it's not the administration you want. Maybe you guys need to have a band manager here. Somebody that will manage your daily activities. Somebody that will actually do your reports. Somebody that will actually manage that for you. That's probably what you need here. That's probably the difference on that one. Because one of the biggest things and the challenges we had the last 4 years with Little Red is they only get $120,000 worth of administration dollars every year. That's not enough to do their own administration. But if it's the demand to have your own administration is very great to you, then we should sit down and actually start talking about different ideas. Where can we get additional funds? Where can we do it? To operate this in every year for administration roughly is about $480,000. So that means we have about $360,000 shortfall that we need to find. The idea for me is, as being your leader, I can find that money. That's what you want. The other thing too is, the difference is having your own band manager that would help me, help you find that manager, to find that money too. That's the difference. It all depends on how you think of things and how you perceive things. We perceive life in different ways. We all grew up in different ways, and we all understand life in different ways. I'm only presenting my view of what I see. And that is what, and everybody else that comes up here after me will present theirs. But I'm presenting mine to yours. I'm not presenting, I'm recognizing there's issues and there's problems, but I'm also presenting a solution. And at the end of the day, I hate to say it, but at the end of the day, the solution is this. That's what we need to run a new administration. That's what we need to do to hire people to actually do things for you. And finding that is the key. The other thing that's also key in everything that I do is I also create businesses, I also create companies, and I also create corporations. I do the same thing. I've done that before, and it's not hard to do it again. A lot of this thing that I wanted to say and share with you is, a lot of it is not what I could do, but what I can offer you, how I can benefit. What is the benefit that the nation can get? What is the benefit Little Red can get from me being your leader? And that is the benefit that I can say, is what you'll get. The other thing you also get is basically you're going to have meetings. I always believe in involvement. I believe in actually including people. And I also believe in sharing information. Because I always believe the more informed you are, the more informed decision you make, the stronger the nation is. And I think that's very key in what we're looking for in regards to looking forward and doing what we have to do as a nation. There was one thing that was also missed in what we were talking about, was transparency and accountability. But one of the key things, and I just had a debate with that, is that there's one key thing that misses. And that thing is responsibility. Everybody wants power, but they don't want responsibility. Everybody wants to make a decision, but they don't want to have responsibility for the outcome. Everybody wants to share in something, but at the end of the day, they don't want that responsibility. Responsibility is key to everything that we do. And that was the challenge I took on 4 years ago when I actually applied for the job as band manager. Sure, I was a little disappointed. I said, I'm a band member, I should have got the job just like that. But no, I had to compete with 3 others. And that as we had to compete, we were given a problem. The problem was we are this million in debt. What is your proposal? How are you going to get us out? Well, they chose my proposal. And that's why we're here today. They chose mine. And that's what I did in the last 4 years. So without looking at it and actually talking about it and exemplifying it even more, I just wanted to say what that learning curve for me was, thank God I had the passion for my community, because there were times that I just felt like I just wanted to throw my hat in and just walk away. Because I said to myself, well, if I don't do it, who else is going to? And so that's what I could continue to go forward here. And that's the same thing that happened to me this past time running for chief. 3 times I said no. 3 times I said, I'm going to run. And 3 times I said, I'm not going to. One of the biggest reasons why is did I want to take the responsibility once again, but at a different time. I had a friend of mine that called me up and he goes, why do you want to be chief? That's less pay and more headaches. And that's basically what it is. Less pay and more headaches. Why? Well, the difference is because I got passion for my community. We're very resilient. We're very adaptable. And one of the biggest things that I also wrote when I was in university on treaties was they asked us, what do you understand the treaties about? I told them I understand a couple things about the treaties. I understood one thing, and that was when our ancestors were starving, being starved out, being isolated, and they were being treated very unfairly, they still had it in them to think about us and say, we want them to have this, even though we don't have it. That's what I wrote in my paper. And I said about education, I said the reason why they put in there, learn the cunning of the white man, was because we knew that we were adaptable. That's the reason why we conquered this before, this nation here, this world here, before we got colonized. We adapted, we knew it. And our ancestors did the same thing when they said, learn the cunning of the white man. So you too can be the doctors, lawyers, judges, politicians to take back your land. That is the reason why the treaties were there. I grew up with a lot of friends that had an attitude that was different. Don't do anything white, be Indian. That's basically what I grew up to see. And when I said, no. Our ancestors told us specifically, learn the cunning of the white man. Because that is basically what's going to take us back to what we need to do in this nation. Because so far, whatever we're doing, and how far we do, and what we're doing, has it been getting us anywhere? Is the question. Go home tonight and ask that question. Ask yourself that question. Has it been getting us anywhere? And yet, as a nation, we end up doing what they did to us before, divide and conquer. We do it amongst ourselves. And since we always do it amongst ourselves, we're always struggling to try to make ends meet. So again, I ask for, as part of unity and as part of your, and asking for your support. At the 31st, I ask for your support regarding to become your leader and given an opportunity to do what I've just set up here. And I just want to thank you on that. And again, I just want to thank my nominator, Warren, and I want to thank my seconder, Conrad. And I also want to thank everybody here that came to listen to me. I do speak Cree. I do speak it all the time. But I don't speak it when I'm saying here because some of the things I can't say in Cree. And then I know I understand in Cree is I'll end up saying something different. It'll come and laughing. And that's the beauty of Cree because it sounds like anything that you want to make it sound like. But I mean, and I'm going to say in Dinigate, we know Sunni, and I just want to make sure that if that's what it is you want, I'm there for you 100%. And anything else, if I'm always at other meetings, any questions? That's good. Everybody looks so serious, so I just figured I'd ask that question. Remember, guys, it's about leading a nation, so keep smiling and have a good, positive attitude. It's about taking us to another level, taking us to another generation, and showing that generation that we as First Nations, we are adaptable, and that we are very strong in what we do. And thank you very much. Good night.
We could have another nominator for one of the other two chiefs of the division, please.
Don't do anything, please.
Good evening, Little Red. And the guys could limit normal rashes, the guys when you also have a huge. The way people get now with Edward Henderson, the Moods Carried to Maga. You all know Edward, so I can't lie too much, so praise him. Everybody knows him, so you catch me by that. Square with having a good scar, only one got to give me a good scar. You got to be seen that day. That needs not going to get extra to not to remove. I know you're easy to everything. My meeting is a book. You're never too old to get an education to learn, and that's a good example. The good also said you do Ireland was okay. Then you came out of the window, you got so. Mother was much rich here. Kagadaga, Yagabitu, that would take out to Maran and Malawi. And what she was Kaskitai, Kitami from Good Sky, and easy time day. You must stay under the weight and chart the big squish the mass with the Kagadaga extreme or to animals. More than the Gidas moved to the boy, want to take my man beach. Kagadaga extreme or yours at dinner.
Thank you, Norman. You have your secretary here tonight?
Hello, my name is Gladys Charles, and I second the nomination for Edward Henderson for chief. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Now if we could have the candidate, Edward Henderson.
Oh, thank you. The other last Joseph being Mr. Magma, and the last I thank Elder Josephine for the opening prayer today. I thank my nominator, Uncle Norman, for having confidence in letting me put my name forward. My cousin Gladys for seconding me. You know, today is I want to also thank Conrad and Joyce for putting their name forward, and all the candidates for council. It's not an easy task to put your name forward to work for your people. It's not easy. I've been there. A lot of times I remember these halls being full, being packed, come nomination time. But now it's predetermined. I feel that's something we've taken away from our people. You know, but I also agree with some of the parts where grade 12 is required. I didn't put my name forward the last I didn't have that honor. But I have that honor now. I graduated in December, and my graduation day is May 31st. You're all invited to my place. We have a grad party. We just pop and tea, that's pretty well it. The days of booze and stuff is gone. It also reminds me of the days that when I first ran to, when it was based on, we had the biggest party. It's not only our First Nations, it's also the other organizations. It was based on who had the biggest party. I'm glad people have turned around, turned away from alcohol. 23 years of going on, abstaining from alcohol. And it's a good example to have. I know that you say the cutting of the white man, Conrad talked about. And one of them is, you always hear it, no matter where you go to assembly and stuff, that education is running to Buffalo. I couldn't say that to our young people because I didn't have that great talk. Now I do. But education is very important, never too old. We encourage our young people to continue going to school. Also, I want to remember our fellow communities of our mother band in Montreal when we lost another relative there in Alton Sturgeon Lake. We just buried my granddaughter today too at the school. I had the honor of doing the ceremony for them. A lot of times when we come together, it's unfortunate that during funerals, we know how we're related. I want to thank the Deputy Electoral Officer. I know the task that you have is not easy. Also thank all the elders that are here. You know, it's not easy to put your name forward. And some of the challenges we have and had in the past continue on. And how do we get through that? By working together. Everybody has different views, different values, different opportunities, and different thoughts of individuals. I remember the days when we used to come to these halls, it used to be packed, and some of the excitement, not knowing who was going to nominate who was running for chief, who was running for council. That's predetermined. When we talk about accountability and sharing that information with our people, I was surprised that, you know, our terms, the next term for leadership is 4 years. All those questions that are being asked and we talk about being accountable, that's what the information should be to our people already. And the criteria People had criteria prior to that. You know, the people's work ethics, the people, the individuals themselves. That's how they were chosen in the past. How they treated people, how they conducted themselves in the communities. But you know, the next couple of years, a lot of challenges. But I want to also thank the our leadership, Joyce, and the council. I know it was a hard time during COVID. I mean, a lot of us have to deal with mental health. Being home and watching Oprah for days drives you crazy. Watching The Price is Right, you know, stuff like that. There's so much you can do. You can't play online when you're broke too, so there's a lot of things, and I'm glad that the leadership looked after their people at the time of need. That's probably not our first challenge. You know, they say there's going to be a fourth wave. Hopefully there isn't going to be a fourth wave. And there's a lot of challenges. We lost people that didn't believe in COVID. We buried our relatives here in Red. And other communities too. Coming together, we always talk about that. And people look at me and say, oh, we haven't come together. Yes, we might have different views, but that's something we want to put aside. I even heard today that the election just started. This is the second night of nominations. There's going to be appeals. What is that all about? You know, our people are going to make a decision. I remember in the past when our people were elected, that was it. Because those are the people have spoken. These are the people that we truly think will lead us. But that has changed too. A lot of things have changed in the last couple of years, last couple of terms. You know, but those are things that we got to give that voice back to the people. Let them decide what the criteria is. They know individuals. But I think one of the biggest challenges we have as a First Nation, and not only our First Nations, is to deal with crystal meth. It affects each and every one of us. I have relatives, I have nieces, I have grandchildren, I have cousins that are dealing with that addiction. How do you deal with that? Yes, there's people saying they got banned from the community, but where did they go? They become the issue of somebody else. That's something we got to truly challenge. We've all had our addictions. I'm glad that people didn't push me away when I first started challenging my addictions. I remember the first time I quit 6 months, and people said, oh, you know, you couldn't do it. I felt bad. And the next time I didn't tell them. And they started asking how long it's been. It's been a year, 2 years, 10 years, 23 years now. But I'm glad. People say you lose your friends. That's the time you find out who your true friends are. You know, people that will stand by you. Even if you make wrong decisions, bad decisions, people will tell you. And that's a good thing. You know, hopefully everything's all said and done, we come together, work together. Because it's the betterment of our First Nation that we all have to come together. There's all those challenges. How do we deal with that? And through them is through economic development. Like I said yesterday, when I became chief, and I was chief at the time, I started Montreal Business Development. I did that wrong. I put the horse in front of the carriage. It should have been the other way around. I just started it, got it going, but I should have brought it to the membership. And hopefully it's still being successful. I haven't heard that. I heard that we bought it to Moxon something. I had told Moxons, I think we bought shares into it. And I believe the KFC and Browns, I'm not sure. Like everybody else, all I hear from rumors. I don't know. But we need to be given that opportunity to ask those questions. And it's been challenging the last couple of weeks, to tell you the truth, trying to fulfill the documentation, the criteria that we needed. I was told it's supposed to be a band official. When I called, that band official was no longer there. It was packing that with somebody else. I waited 4 days to get a response, and I finally got it. So there are things like that. There's little things that are hindering our young people from running. Let our young people see us. We've got a lot of educated young people out there. Something we ought to look at and bring them back. And, you know, everybody listens to the word. I know we're on, I think it's called Skype, I think, whatever you call this thing. Facebook, is it Facebook? The Conrad guy lets everybody know. I know I was reading some of the comments last night. Some of them were good, some of them were directed at individuals. That isn't us as people. We shouldn't be doing that, getting our people down. These are leaders that are, you know how hard it is for somebody to put their name forward, and yet they get caught up in the first speech. We have feelings. We love our communities, that's why we put our name forward. I think there would be a lot more people to put their name forward if we had more time. But you know, it's something that I've lost a lot of sleep over when I was in leadership. I've been threatened, I've been trying to get blackmailed, everything in the book. You know, but I got through that. I got through that with my brother John, who was my biggest advocate. He always told me how to deal with stuff. It's part of the territory. My brother was on council for a year and a half. He made history in Little Red, my late brother John. He ran for council, he got 100% votes. Nobody else has ever done that. He got into a little argument with Indian Affairs and had to choose between his family life and politics. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. When you put your name forward, you got to put your people first before you put family. And that's very hard sometimes. The sacrifice that each individual here, all of the leaders that are here today, the sacrifice that they make. It's very hard to put your family second and your people first. But that's what when you put your name forward, that's what you're saying you're going to do. And whatever your people do, your people benefit, your family will always benefit. And that's the way it should always be. Your people first, then your family. Not family, and then your people. It's something you got to look at. People knew me. Sometimes I stutter because my false teeth don't fit as good, so that if they fall out, forgive me if my false teeth fall out. But that's part of the humor too. You have to be able to laugh at yourself and laugh at situations, but still find a way to overcome things. I'm blessed that I still have the support out there. I don't have the support of some individuals because we have different views. And that's why we back an individual. My uncle's views, my cousin Warren's views, they're all different, right? We believe in that individual, but we all have the same common goal, is to elect someone that will lead our people. And that's the choice that's going to be made to each and every individual. I'm not going to pick the chief. The people are, the membership are. The membership are going to pick the leaders that I want to represent them. I want to thank Ron. I forgot you. Sorry, I could see you, but I couldn't spit it out already. But you know, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. I want to thank the candidates that put their name forward as council also. You know, but when it's all said and done, it's going to be up to the membership. The membership are going to pick the leaders in Montreal. The membership are going to pick the leaders in Little Red. The membership are going to pick the people, the membership, the leaders in Montreal, Urban. And all the communities are going to pick a chief. And they're going to elect that individual by the way they present themselves. And somebody that they believe in. So I humbly ask for your support on March 31st, and we're going online, March 20th and 21st, I think. Can't remember the dates, I didn't read my pamphlet, or my package, but I think those are the dates. But I look forward to coming back to work for your people. And from the bottom of my heart to you, have safe journeys. I know the roads are bad today, but God bless, and God be with you until we meet again. Aye.
Thank you very much. Good. Henderson. And the online voting is on the 20th. Yeah. But they go to the 31st. At 6 o'clock at night. So, yeah, it opens up. So it's 11 days of online voting. Thank you. Let's go for the final presentation for the chief section.
Hello, my name is Tina Nelson. I'm a proud member of I've been here for the past 5 years. I'm here to nominate and to re-elect Joyce McLeod Nitaho. I've known and worked with Joyce during her term in office and have always found her dependable, efficient, and a good listener. In fact, I have never worked with a person who gives as much attention as she does when you get to know Joyce. You know, she's very outgoing, and she understands if you're going through a rough time in your program area. And I work as a Little Red Health Program Manager here, and I've seen a lot of improvements within that program. And I'm very happy for that, because for a while it was quite a struggle to work in that area, but with her support we got some new vehicles, new fleets, more funding in the program of health. Joyce demonstrates an extraordinary commitment to her community and along with Little Red, Timber Bay, Weaquin, and urban areas. She quickly discerns her individual needs and moves efficiently to provide key information, recommendations, or directions. She often performs above and beyond, and not long ago offered her expertise in planning skills to navigate a job search to the point of providing detailed itineraries for several young individuals during her time as a teacher. Even though this was not required of her, she does so willingly and cheerfully shares a good relationship with people, both young and old, meaning the elderly. Through many changes in leadership, Joyce has made a difference within the last 3 years, exemplified the mission of all program dollars, and has positively impacted the people of our youth. Don't mind my speech. I too have, I don't have real teeth myself, so they're kind of like, I can't really talk right, but it's part of getting old. So I'm gonna try and speak as good as I should. I believe that her experience and personality will offer new ideas. Above all, I believe her most important job will be to listen to you and to communicate with you on a daily basis. This selection for MLCN Chief and Council presents us with a clear choice. It is a choice between continuing things by electing leaders who bring fresh ideas and perspectives. Today we will be talking about the important things that concern us as a nation, like the quality of our education, our mental health, housing, social development, sports and recreation, and most of all our youth. And right now we are dealing with crystal meth. That's a really big issue. It's also happening here in Little Red. We have people coming into our clinic that's going through a lot of mental health issues, and we do need a lot of that help in Little Red with holistic well-being. A lot of times, we see family go through. We see our family go through that work with our youth. I think the most valuable change we can make as a nation is ensuring that our programs are filled with individuals who strive for accomplishments, meaning bringing new program funding dollars into the communities. As you can see, the future depends on our ability to work together. Cooperation and teamwork will get us far. Vote for Joyce. Her skills, knowledge, willingness on March 31st, 2023, vote for Joyce.
Thank you, Tina. was waiting for a loud buzzer, but I didn't hear nothing like that. I hear a rustle in the background. Russell is making a lot of noise. So if you can please keep it down when someone's speaking. And that door is making a lot of slamming noises, so if you can please keep that down for the candidates who can speak. Thank you. If you could have the secretary.
Thank you. My name is Jason Valentine. I'm here to second the nomination for Joyce Nadal McLeod. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Now, if we can have Joyce come to the mic. There you are.
This is the second time we've met today, this week. Yesterday in Montreal Lake, today in Little Red, tomorrow in Urban. For another day. I was at the funeral all day today, this afternoon. And then I went visiting my elder. After 5 o'clock. I want to acknowledge our the family that just lost their family member this afternoon or this morning. Our prayers go to Lionel Bird and his family for the loss of his brother. Our friend Debbie. I want to acknowledge the prayer by our elder, our knowledge keeper Josie. We call her Josie in Montreal Lake. I also want to acknowledge my nominator Tina Nelson, my seconder Jason. I want to thank the deputy electoral officers. You have a hard job. And I want to acknowledge Edward and also Conrad, their nominators, their seconders, and their families. It's not easy. Being chief is not an easy task. Even as a woman, we have come a long ways. There's times when women didn't even have a vote, couldn't even vote. There's times when women had to stay home because they weren't educated. My mother had just barely finished her grade 1, just barely passed her grade 1, and she had to stay home because she had to look after the family. My dad was at the residential school in Duck Lake and had to run away in grade 6 because, kids today, they're being starved and they're being abused physically. My dad is buried in Little Red, so Little Red is a very special place for me. Most of the time on Father's Day, I used to come and visit my dad. If not, then my late brother John Henderson used to go and visit him. Used to go and clean his grave. So I have a big family connection in Little Red. I'm very thankful. I'm very proud, that I have family connection here, because that's where my dad was raised, and this is where my Plains family, from the Plains, because I'm from the Woodland Cree. You guys are very lucky because you're very lucky to have your sweats. You're very lucky to have your traditional ceremonies, your sweats, your peace pipe ceremonies, your horse dances, your drums. Those drums mean a lot to me because my noso, Mr. Solomon, used to be the drummer, used to be the singer, used to attend sun dances. So there's a lot of history. That's the history that we're missing. But that's the history we're adopting slowly. Because every time we have opening ceremonies in Montreal Lake, just like the last time we had our Treaty 8 celebrations, Woodland Cree, we started off with a pipe ceremony. And the reason for that is because, when the treaties were signed in Montreal 132 years ago, that was the intent, that was the spirit. And that's why it was important for us to have that pipe ceremony. I also want to acknowledge my Auntie Rosalind, our knowledge keeper. I don't know how she keeps all these dates and names in her head, but you know, to me, she's a knowledge keeper. At one time, I wasn't going to run. I thought, hey, I'm a teacher. I'm a former teacher. And every 3 years, every 4 years, I used to take off. I'd work in one place and I'd take off, take another place. And then I'd go, and then I traveled through Northwest Territories. I traveled through BC. I just moved from BC about 4 years ago. I traveled to Champlain, Northern Plains Cree, and Woodland Cree schools. I whitefish. I've taught everywhere. And then I thought, you know, my job is done. Hey, I finished my term, 2.5 years as term of chief. And I didn't say nothing. And then until my Auntie Rosalind called me, I said, I've been praying. I know people are running for chief. I've been praying. My prayers are answered. Now I can ask you to run. And then I look at myself and my daughter Julie sitting there. I look at Julie and she said, "Kinamanimaga mandu." A lot of times, mandu and misal iskiditam danto maybe dan siwi psikmatsia. Mandu iskiditam what the paths that we're leading. Asa mandu iskiditam who's going to be the chief. We don't know, but we know that mandu iskidita. My dad used to say that. More likely to be the mission. And then I got another phone call. I said, you know what? I said, you served for 2.5 years, you think you're done? I don't think so. It's not up to you. It's not up to you to maybe making plans. I said, I asked our elder, Alan Bird, he used to say, 2 years, 2 terms, you started a lot of stuff. You started a lot of stuff. You have to do 2 terms to finish. Go on in. I took out my mucklucks, just kidding. Mustn't be the mission. And that's why I'm standing today. That's why I have to lead. And I'm not here for myself. I have a team. I had a team this past year. Because when we talk about chief, when we talk about leadership, it's not about I. We heard that last night from my grandson. Because that's what I teach that's what I taught my council. It's not about you. It's about we. We can't run a nation if it's only you. You know, it takes teamwork. And I'm honestly say, you know, we've had a good team. In 2.5 years, we've managed to get on with the land claims that have been on forever. We've been on, you know. And I don't also tell them my team members. I said, these are not us. These are the visions that were passed on from previous council, from Alan Bird to Roy to Bobby to all these to Richie, all these people, all these leaders, even Asri, all the leaders from Little Red. They fought for these things. They fought for Prince Albert National Park. This year. We managed to get that. We fought for cows and plows because they knew they had to claim cows and plows. This year, we're going to get that. And also another one that we had is the timber, and especially Little Red. You know, they fought for timberland claims. This year, our lawyer, we have a lawyer. And I just got letters here about 3-4 weeks ago. I got a letter from ISK. We have your claims. Now, these claims are going to go into Ottawa. The Ottawa will decide, you know, if these are good enough. Of course, we have lawyers. We research people that did all the research. We have a good team in the governance. These are all the things that the governance have been working on. We have a lawyer that's been working on that. But I always tell them, my team council, it's not us. We're just here at that time. You know, it was at that time. These are the claims that have been fought, and we're just carrying the torch. That's what we're doing. We're trying to finish their job. And that's why it's important that, we have to keep moving on. We have to move on. We can't go backwards. We can't go backwards because, what are we telling our kids? What are we training our kids? I'm a teacher, so I've always I listened to Carol last night having a little calendar. Well, I have something here too, $1.50 from Dollarama. And as I needed a notebook to write the boss, because when you speak in front of the people, you speak from the heart. You always have to speak from the heart. And nowadays, all we do is just jot down little information. We got on the It's during 2.5 years, because our term's supposed to be 3 years, but we only had 2.5 years because of the pandemic. And then 2.5 years, we had a great team. And also we had three things that we accomplished. Besides the 3 claims, we also had that women PAGC women's shelter that's coming up in Montreal Lake. That's going to be starting in October. We have the RCMA detachment. Our vice chief is working on that. And the health center. After how many years? 5 years. 5 years because of the money that wasn't even there. Well, it took us maybe a couple of years to work on that, and we got the money. We got the money this year. And that's Troy's baby, so Troy will talk about that. Last night, I listened to people, and they're talking. And for Little Red, I know your administration is the one that you're most concerned about. How many years have you had out your administration? Give us that opportunity, we'll work on that. Give us that chance, we'll do something about it. Okay? Their audit, we just had an audit meeting here. This is the first time ever for a long time that we had a lot of money. Montreal Lake Cree Nation has a lot of money. We know we have a computer system. We know where the money is going. We have an accountant that's very mean. The communication is key, I know that. I know a lot of times we don't communicate. There's a lot of things happening, a lot of good things happening. There's exciting times happening, but we don't have the communication. And I know that's lacking. Give us a chance, we'll do that communication. We can have our electronic boards. We can have our website, our own website. We can have website from Little Red. But that's how you find out things. I checked Laurent's website. And you want something to know about Laurent's post sec, you just click, click, click. It's right there. We need something like that. We need to go back to our monthly meetings. So for our band members, we need committees. Kayasmana, we used to have committees where there was a woman, there was a youth. We have to get our youth involved in that again. So an elder. And elders are not only there to say a prayer. The elders have to be part of the committee. They have to have their say. One of them was to praise that prayer. We get them involved. They want to be involved. These are the knowledge keepers. We have a lot we had to do regarding restorative justice. And yes, we do have unsolved murders. We have 5 unsolved murders, all gang related and drug related. We need to do something about that. We're working on that. We're working with the RCMP as best as we could. So going forward, we need to work together. I said I have a good team, and then I have a good team, and I think we should continue. We have so much to do. We have land water claim coming. We have IRS coming. We have annuity, $5 back pay. I'm still working on Timber Bay with PAGC. We've met with ministers a few times. And leadership, like I say, we have lots of things to do, and it's not an easy task. It's not easy. And you can't satisfy everybody. You can't satisfy everybody because a lot of people are depending on the band. We don't want people depending on the welfare. We don't want people depending on the band. We want people to be self-sufficient. Let's be self-sufficient. Let's get those jobs. Let's train for those jobs. We have electrician. Our electrician, the only electrician in Montreal Lake, have passed on this morning. What are we going to do? Then we have to start all over. We have plumbers. We need those kind of trainings. We need workers. So that's what give us a chance, and we're going to be there, because as a woman, I can do that. I can work on that. I know. I'm educated. And I know. I have networking. I know. We have people that are. We have writers that write for proposals. We have educated people in Montreal that can do that. I am going to continue, and even if I don't make it, but I'm going to make it, because I'm doing a good job, I think. Because I have Marcia.
At this time, we'll close the nominations for the chief, and then we'll begin with the councillors for Little Red. Let's close the time, we record the time for the chief, and open it up for the two councillors that are in Little Red. We could hear from them first, please. Do I have a nominator?
Nominate Melissa Halpin for council for Little Red. Melissa grew up here in Little Red, lived here all her life, so she knows all the people in Little Red and takes her job as council very seriously. Melissa is a very hardworking lady. She loves helping people in the community when she can. I believe Melissa is a great role model for the youth in our community. She does her job 100%, and we see this here in Little Red. We have a new youth building, and our youth are very busy. She helped in the process, and we are grateful for all the work council does here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Quentin. Now if I could have the seconder.
Hi, my name is Karen Krugerl, and I second the nomination for Alyssa Halpin.
Alyssa, if you're able to come do your presentation, you've got 15 minutes for your acceptance and your presentation.
Good evening, everybody. Well, I'd like to thank our elder for the opening prayer, and everyone for traveling in. It's really nerve-wracking. I can't even look at everybody. But no, I'd just like to thank my nominator, Quentin, and my seconder, Carrington. It's been definitely a roller coaster the last 2.5 years, being in leadership. It hasn't been an easy task. Our Lord is right when it comes to family. You literally have to put your whole community first before yourself and anyone else. So doing that in the last 2.5 years really, it kind of does hurt. It does hit your feelers, because you want to be with your family as much as you can, because they're your main supporters, right? But at the end of the day, that's who you go home to. So I just want to, I didn't write nothing. I didn't write no speech, nothing. I came up here thinking, getting told, okay, just stand in your bathroom and do public speaking for a couple of minutes. So I did that, and I kind of do that. So I'm really shy right now, but
Yeah, no, I look forward to seeing how the next couple weeks go. You know, I wish everybody good luck. You know, my fellow colleagues in Montreal Lake, you know, we did good. You know, we did have a good team. You know, Troy, Carol, Dean, and Rick, Chief, you know, Shar, Eldon. You know, it's, they talked about COVID. You know, when I first came into the new election 3 years ago, I was sitting at home. I was on 6 months of not working for the band. I decided to leave my job because I wanted to focus on bettering my mental health. So I got a knock on the door from Charmaine in Dallas, and they come and asked me to come back to work. So I went back to work and ended up being security for COVID and doing the food security. You know, and that's a lot of work. You know, I can't imagine how much work Montreal Lake went through with all their members. You know, it was a big task to take on, especially having to make sure you're being as safe as possible, right? But I think that gave us a lot of strength and ability to do our job better every day. You know, we try our best not to shy away. You know, I've never hid nothing. You know, I'm an open book. I always tell it how it is. I'm honest. I try my best to be there for everybody when I can. You know, and I keep looking at the time. I have 11 minutes and I keep trying to fill it in, but I just stand here and I just ask for support. You know, to get that to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alyssa. Sector. So if I could have the nominator. Somebody's shy.
Hi guys, good evening. My name is Frida Sessions. For the ones that don't know me, I'm from Montreal. I grew up here. And tonight I'm here to nominate Charmaine for council. For the past 3 years, I've watched Charmaine become a strong and credible, dedicated leader. She always shows never take people for granted. Always make them your priority. Appreciate your team. Appreciate the commitments to helping communities navigate the troubled waters we face today. And she knows the troubles we face on the reserve. And they fight every day to do their best to gain control. But like I said, I've watched her and I'm proud of them for the last 3 years and their dedication. I want to thank Josie for her opening prayer. I want to thank you guys for coming out here in this crazy ass weather. But thank you guys for coming out. Good luck to everybody. And good luck to the candidates coming March 31st. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much. If I can have the seconder, please.
Hi, I'm Laura Bird, and I'm here to second Charmaine for council.
Thank you, Norma. Now, if I can, Charmaine, remind me, please.
Good evening. My name is Charmaine Irvine, and
thanking Frida, my nominator, Nora, my seconder. It's been almost 3 years since the last election. It was March 16th. And when we were acclaimed into council at that time, the global pandemic was declared, so we weren't able to make speeches at that time. We just got nominated, and then we had to leave the gym in Montreal Lake, and then we're on our way and back home. Past 3 years have been a very awesome learning lesson. First of all, having to follow the Saskatchewan Health Authority and WHO, World Health Organization, all their guidelines. So that's what I came into. I wanted better for my community, why I put my name forward at that time. And it was crazy. We had to isolate. That was the toughest thing to do, was to isolate my community. I knew about the pandemic in the early 20s. My Auntie Liza started talking about it. And then, and then when I became counselor for Little Red, the pandemic hit, and I thought, how ironic. But we managed through. You know, it was tough. It was tough at the beginning because we didn't know how COVID was going to impact our world. What I was taught in the early 20s was, or 2000, I'm not that old. In the early 2000s it was mass deaths. That kind of instilled fear in me. So that was about 2 years of leadership going through the pandemic, and then finally everything started easing up. So I'd want to thank our chief, our council for Montreal Lake, urban councillor. You know, you guys helped us a great deal here in Montreal and Little Red. We don't have our administration here, so everything comes from Montreal Lake. And we've been trying to get our administration back to Little Red. We were going through the epidemic of crystal meth, mental health, and we try to put on training here, and it's tough to get people to come out still. Thank you to Ron Beatty and Talia, our electoral officers, and also to the candidates that are running for chief and council in the urban sector as well. I've learned quite a lot in regards to agreements. Where does our money come from? You know, that's very important when your leader is understanding and also staying within your budget. You want to spend, but you can't because of the restraints, right? I didn't write a speech, I just thought I'd wing it. But I want to thank Joyce. She held great leadership skills, being a chief. Troy, our vice chief, Dean, Ricky, Elton, Carol. You all taught me something valuable. And also Alyssa. Alyssa's a asset to Little Red. You know, she taught me a lot as well in regards to the programs, coding. Thank you to our administrators in Montreal Lake, our finance ladies, our HRs. You know, we always want to appreciate our workers that are that come do the job every day. So I want to say good luck to the candidates, and yeah, thank you. So with that, I hope you all have a great night, and we have supper for you here. So, there you go.
Other councilors, any available councilors that want to speak, could they please come up here now? So you'll have the full 15 minutes, it's up to you, but you don't have to take a long time. And okay, thank you. Yeah, so we got Councillor candidate Arnold Mitauha from Montreal. You get 15 minutes.
Grazie a tutti. Nishtam Nashkama Josephine Papagai Nishtamawak, Kiriki Josephine, Nashkaman. Siman to Nashkama, Minapia Nistote in Boyan. Putanista Wawak to give milk. Uncle Edward Tayo, Kaminama Roslin. You got me, no Mawata. Arnold Mitauha Bigas. Amos. Nei tao no tao le bat no sali o te o tse sturge le pane ai no so bat nan salomon ke to tse no tao bat emas yo mi anu speak to news ka wa ta o ta ai na my sister bena chief yo no ko ba iba kadege start she should be good ya I have relations here too. My uncle Edwin, my uncle Rosalie, my late grandpa was from Jersey Lake. My late dad Amos Mitauha, Sally Mitauha. Kadang kita sisi dari Yulian. Kaya betul kita menambil dan as a lay reader, and I'll continue to come here. Ito harus dipilih Imad Padi Wala Shaka Munang Sayani. So condolences to the Bird family. I believe they had a funeral here too much on this puppy. Yagamina Kispina Mantu the Soil without speaking out and say, you are speaking. It was a Canadian city, Yulian, just come visit for a little bit. But we cannot get out of this Scottish. Because congratulations to Alyssa, Governor Charmaine, and I know that you don't need to vote for them now, but if you want to save your votes, vote for me. Because thank you.
Thank you. Do we have another candidate that wants to speak? Here we go. Dean Henderson.
Thank you. Just real quickly, I don't want to take up too much time. I know people want to eat. I just want to, I thought that we were going to be claiming Alyssa and Charmaine tonight, so I just want to, give them a big round of applause and congratulate them on their acclamation. Thank you for that. Anyways, my name is Dean Henderson. For those of you that don't know me, my parents are Nolan and Shirley Henderson. Nolan is currently a senator for PAGC and a senator for FSIN. My mother is Shirley. She's the chairman for the Prince Albert Grand Council Women's Commission. They both lived long political careers. My dad was the chief for I don't even remember, probably 2 terms, 3 terms maybe, and my mom was council for 16 years, I believe. So, you know, I come from a political background. Currently, you know, I was on council for the past 6 years now. This was my 2nd term I'm just completing. I was the vice chief. I was appointed the vice chief probably about a month into my 1st term, and I retained that throughout till yesterday, I guess, Monday. So, you know, I just want to say, you know, it's been a pleasure and an honor working with everybody that I worked with. I was under Edward as a chief, I was under Frank as a chief, and I was under Joyce as a chief. And I worked with many different council, the current council that are sitting here today, and others that were from Little Red as well. Fred, Debbie, Dallas, you know, I worked with all of them, and it was an honor to work with them all. And I just want to say that, you know, I want to continue working. You know, it's all about working as a team. You know, you got to work as a team to get ahead. You know, and I feel that we worked really well this past term and move forward. You know, I want to continue moving forward. Working as a team, it doesn't matter, you know, it doesn't matter who you're working with. It's very important to work as a team. I realized that in the last, you know, my last 6 years, my political career, 6 years. From Zamboni driver to politician in a matter of a few weeks. So, with that, I don't want to take up too much time. Like I said, you know, I humbly ask for your support when it comes to election day, the 31st. Thank you, Josie. Thank you, Josie, for your prayers. And let's eat. Thank you.
Yes, I see another candidate. This is Tamara B. from Urban. Hello, my name is Howard Beatty. I'm just going to be up here for briefly just introduce myself. Oh, first I'd like to thank Ivy Berry for nominating me, and my grandma, Amelia Beatty Hunt, for seconding me. I was born in Saskatoon, but majority of my life I was raised in Prince Albert. I went to Queen Mary Community Public Elementary School and graduated from Westmore High School. I was in the middle of my 3rd year as a university student until my funding actually got cut from the band. I don't know what happened there, but they just decided not to fund me anymore. My first platform I'd like to talk about is growing up and playing hockey. I first started playing hockey at Montreal Lake Cree Nation as a Montreal Lake Predator as little young guys, and continued that into PA minor hockey for several years, 8 years actually, until I was 17 years old. And I'd like to try to get that team involved again, because we're looking for the future of the children, and it really starts out with organized hockey and learning the social skills and learning the teamwork with one another, on and off the ice. Don't really see Montreal Lake being involved in the Indian tournaments that happen, that I love to go and watch. My second platform here is, I said that I got my band funding cut, and it wasn't just me that happened to. And it seems that happens to a lot of people out there. I want to try to make that better, because it feels like it's a privilege. They're making it a privilege to go to school, and it should be a right for all Aboriginal people. And I have a I've been running a business for 4 years now as a taxi driver. I call it restaurant franchise. And I would like to get that more involved with the community and Prince Albert, or, you know, that's all I really want to say. Thank you. Is there any other, something else that Conrad would like to say some words for the Montreal Lake? Candidate?
Hello, my name is Alan Conrad. I too am running for council for Montreal Lake, and I thank the elder for the prayer, and I thank the elders that are here, and the past leaders and the future leaders. And it's actually, it is nerve-wracking to be up here, and it is an interesting experience though, because as Dean said, he went right from Zambo driver to vice chief, and he's been doing that for a couple of terms, and that's basically what I try to do. Is I'm usually the cameraman, and I go everywhere. It's been about almost 15 years, and everything that is on the internet is spread all over the Indian country. I'm glad to actually do that, because when I think about a long time ago, there's just barely any VHS videos of activities and community events, and about, 2007 or 8, I started doing videos, and everything that's put on digital stays. So there's a lot of people that have passed on that are on the videos too, and people with families to go back and see that. And also, I'm also multitasking here. I have a little grandchild here. A lot of part of the reason why I have her with me is because, well, actually, I tried to leave her, but she didn't want to stay. But a lot of the reason why she's with me is because she's in a drug-free environment for a short time while she's with me, because when she goes back home, she doesn't want to go back home because of her parents and the drug use there in the environment. So every day, and I'm actually a school bus driver at the moment, and both of them, both her and her older sister come with me. And I try to get rid of them at 7, 8, 9 o'clock, and it's hard sometimes, because they don't want to go home, And they go back into the drug environment every night, and every day is the regular school day ends. They stay with me, and they don't want to go home. And I think that's what the challenge is for the youth that we have here in Montreal and Delaware. As Arnold also said, we have a family here, and we have Auntie Rosalind here, and a lot of the cousins here. We have a history here. The unique thing about being a Montreal band member also is over here you speak the Y dialect, and in Montreal Reserve itself we speak the TH dialect, and that's really unique compared to other reserves in Canada, and we actually should be proud of that. But another thing that was mentioned was that we tend to forget Little Red, and that is true, because we should be coming back and forth just as much as they come back and forth to see us and our activities, and we should actually concentrate on that even more, to come to Little Red, be with our Little Red band members even more, and it's going to be even better for everybody. I think it's kind of nerve-wracking to watch the camera. It's kind of fun. Just kidding. And thank you for that Thursday. Thank you for letting me speak for a little while. And on the 31st of March, I ask for your vote in becoming a band council. Thank you.
Thank you, Conrad.
Just to let you know, running for Montreal Lake Sector on reserve. My name is Eleanor Henderson. My mom is Lizzie Henderson, so I come from that family. I just wanted to say sorry for last night that I was so nervous that I kept saying and then I just went home and I was like, what was I trying to say? And even now I thought I wouldn't be nervous, but yeah, I'm nervous. But anyways, I just like to just a little bit of myself, I guess. I actually worked here in the sub-office for about 3 years in different, at the agency I worked as a family finder, child protection, family service work. So I seen the struggles that Little Red went through behind the scenes as we were the behind workers. I've never been front line like this ever. I've always been the person to be behind and work and just be that team player to support whatever community I work for. But there was one thing that I noticed when I worked here, even in the agency setting. I know sometimes we used to get in trouble because we wouldn't be at a meeting because they forgot to invite us. And like I said, I was here for about 3 years and worked with a lot of families, the foster parents. There's a lot of good people, and even in their addictions, and then, you just gotta give them a chance and listen. I had an opportunity to work with Alyssa and with Charmaine. She sat on the board of the agency and she was very supportive, and so I appreciate that, and I thank her for, the work that she did for our children in care. So with that, I just ask for your support March 31st. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Eleanor.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carol Natauha. I just want to give thanks to our Creator for allowing us to be here today. And thank you to our elder, Josephine, for saying a prayer for us. So, my name is Carol Natauha. I'm running for council for On Reserve, Montreal Lake. I submitted my name once again. My parents are Virginia Natauha and George Valentine, so I do have family ties here in Little Red, and I always think of Little Red as family. So coming here this evening, it only makes sense to come here. So some of the things that I want to talk about today, I've worked alongside Charmaine and Alyssa for the last 2.5 years, and we did a lot of work, and I'm proud to work beside them. We've gone from, with health, I found out who is the health portfolio for Little Red. So it was Alyssa, and in that, we worked on different things. We had an HPMT, so Charmaine and Alyssa both sat on it, and then we had Tina speaking there for Little Red, and we had our director in Montreal Lake. So we created this team so that we, always include Little Red. When I was running, a lot of people were saying to me, Little Red always felt excluded. We're part of the band, but they felt excluded. So I know when I came in, I always wanted to make sure, whatever portfolios I had, I wanted to include, work alongside them. And I'm glad to say that I did. And with health, we met every few months, but our programs, we did our best to, if I had something going on in Montreal Lake, okay, what about Little Red? What is Little Red doing? That's with our health program. My other portfolio in Montreal Lake was daycare and Head Start. So from there too, there was no daycare committee or Head Start committee in Montreal Lake at the time when I started. So I was like, okay, well, who is the daycare portfolio counselor in Little Red? And so I found out, Charmaine held that portfolio. So through there, we created a daycare team. So there was myself, Charmaine, and then we had Reva out there, and Wanda, but prior to that was Michelle. So in that area, we make sure that we wanted to include, what are the plans going forward. And, we just had our audit come through, and the chief was, Joyce was talking about the audit there and where we're sitting. We were surprised, we're at 600,000 surplus from the year before, and right now we're at $700,000 surplus for this fiscal year. So we're at 1.3 surplus, coming April 1st. So it is a lot of money, and that's something that we advocated for a lot, because one of my things is education and pushing for education all the time. And as a community, you need to start with the younger ones. And so, Charmaine being the portfolio and myself, we're starting with the younger ones, the Head Start and daycare. So we're like, okay, what does this program need? Where is it at? Our daycare, Little Red, they just received, they had their building renovated. They have an infant spaces there now. So that was something that was never there before. So it's always like, you've heard of the candidates before me and talking about a team, and that was something that I always worked for all the time. And there's another one with the women's program. So there's women who came to us, because we're women in leadership. And they said, this is what we need, this is what we want. And we figured out, okay, how do we do this? What do we do? And one day, coming across, because you're searching for proposals all the time. So we searched and found one, and we applied, and, one day woke up, we got approval for $189,000 for a women's program. So it was titled Gender-Based Violence. And from there, it's just teaching what is gender-based violence and how is it affected in our community. And after we learned about it, we were like, this is huge. This is in our communities. There's a lot of abuse going on, so we figured out how are we going to do it with culture. We want a culture in there. So I know Jolene was one of the workers and Paige was one of the workers, so they had programs going out here in Little Red. So I'm glad that one was going on. And just last summer, we applied for an economic business proposal for the women's program. And through there, we had an interview in December. I think we had like a chief and council meeting that day, and we said, okay, we need to stay back for this interview. So Charmaine, myself, Alyssa, chief stayed back, and we're like, oh, how are we going to do this? Because we're told there's 84 applicants, and there was only 10 people that were going to be picked, 10 communities across Canada. And it wasn't even First Nations communities only. It was all of Canada. So we just went and spoke, why is this important for our communities? And we all know, like, people who love to cook, people who love to bead, all these different home things, hobbies. And we found out, hey, why can't people make it a business? So, coming this fiscal year, there's dollars to train 50 people to work on a business plan and the ins and outs of how to create a business. So that's something that I'm proud of, with the ladies working alongside them. And another thing that we worked on was our Cree signs. We have a Cree language steering committee, and I'm proud of that steering committee because they're working on different things. There's an app. One of the things that was not mentioned was our signs, our Cree signs. We know how important our language is. We know that. We're trying, we're understanding what intergenerational trauma is. We understand how it affects every one of us in our age group. So, trying to figure out how do we get that back. And we're told you need to do it every day, every single day. So this proposal came across to me I think 2 years ago, and I was like, well, I'm not really sure. So I called on, the team, called on chief and council, hey, this is what we want to do. So yeah, the Cree signs are done. They're going to be posted up in Montreal this summer, and then they'll be in Little Red this summer as well. So that's something that's different, and I'm proud of. And I'm thankful to work alongside the ladies. Those are just the training. We've been teaching each other, and it's all about teamwork. And I just want to say thank you for coming here to listen to me. Thank you for giving me some time, a few minutes, 9 minutes. Sorry, food's getting cold. I will be having a dinner out here in Little Red at Gerald's place. I'll let you know what day. So I'd like to come out and visit here as well. And March 31st, I do ask for your support and vote for Carol. Thank you.
for council, chief and council. Og nu til præcis, jeg tror det sådan lidt, når man har givet dit, der skal jo ikke stå for i stand, det er bare Eric stand, vi er ude til starten af ud til, det kan ikke så ikke I'd like to say, my name is Stephen Stamp, my mom was Sophie Stamp, my dad was Eric Stamp. I'm running for council, or on reserve. I'm comfortable with talking Cree. I'd rather talk Cree than talk English. I always lost my language back in the day, and I show my kids, the ones that I'm bringing up, the children in Carolina, showing them how to speak Cree, with our languages. Then we had to Anita. I had asked my crew from the mental health, I took them over to the school. I asked them to listen what the kids were saying, what was going on. And when recess was over, we got me to music. I asked them, what did you hear? Did anybody speak Cree? Did any of the children speak Cree? It was all English. All English. None of the kids spoke Cree. And that was, I want to say that was about 6 years ago. And just recently, as I mean, Montreal Biggie speak. Montreal Inuit. You might be near you got away try to snag. I was I'm glad that they do have Cree classes. Qu'est-ce qui va venir they were taught how to say our Father who art in heaven, can he lead? The culture has stuck me that I was given an opportunity to work with the Lutheran culture, taking the men out, the men's group. As I said, and soon as I got it takes long way, and say, he's a mafia, he's a very hard. Han säger så att ni inte. Jag vill inte bli kan ni då inte. Det var ju snart att titta när ni och det är snygga jag vet inte det är the next 4 years man skulle ska ta det men inte man inte det är ta det men nu bara tina ser jag vill skista det på patina. Då vi mig var crystal method med isligati. Istan var det ju där och det så var sig. Det kan jag ta då awas isvita att det då står jag går att bata. Visst säger hon det och så utan en bit. Det vill där visst nu mig sig jag går att bata. Kiskiskarvot, men han kigger kapitalet. Hvis der tager sig beskidt nu af arbejde, kan man ikke tro, men jeg kan ikke huske det. Måden er der jo plads til som til her eller hvad det er. Vi går ud vi går op i en big skak op man og det ikke. Måden jeg siger our mental health men jeg var med det var det skal være det var det der gav skia need my way with addiction. Any addiction that is mass boy first to make an area. The guy not paying my guy. But then that as at least me motivate and my son in Montreal casting. Because it's a money maker. You know, see this he's so about the money. You get to spare 3 summons. How are we trying to we got number, words, 2 words. No one can get go ahead and get it. Yeah, we're going to have to man, you guys do with our song. You get to school with that. The thing about the big special. You know, to my I take Mr. to council. It was let's go.
Stephen Snap. I see Troy's coming up to do a speech as well. Please come here. Thank you.
I'm racing Rick up here. I know the food's getting cold here. I've got a few minutes already. I'd like to welcome everyone here. I hope everyone's having a good evening so far. I'd like to thank Josie for the opening prayer. Thank you for the officials here, Callie and Ron. Thank you all for coming out today. I'm just going to go off real quick of what I wrote down for yesterday's speech. I will go as fast as I can, and so we can hurry up and have some good sandwiches and soup there, I see. I'll start off with thanking my nominator, Delia Nadehow, and Lance McDonald. Thank you for always supporting me and helping me. I'm going to tell you who I am, what I've done for the community, and some of the projects I'd like to keep working forward for. My name is Troy Nadehow. My mother is Julie Nadehow. My grandma is Joyce McLeod Nadehow. My late grandpa is Roy H. Bird. I am 32 years old and the oldest of 6. I have 3 children. One son, Tyler, he lives with his mom in Prince Albert. I have 2 daughters, Sasha and Sophia. I was married at 23 years old. I was first elected in 2017 at the age of 26. I was the youngest one. In 2017, I was the youngest one in 2020. I'm a volunteer firefighter for the community, structural and wildland. I'm a hunter. I filled our community freezer in Montreal multiple times. I've also sent meat here when the freezers were here, and I've also sent meat to urban sector when needed. I like to fish, golf, play hockey, horseshoes, and croquet. I lived in Montreal until grade 6, moved to Prince Albert, went to Queen Mary Community School. I served as an SRC president. I was in the Air Cadets for 4 to 5 years, I believe. I made it to flight sergeant. That's where you teach your own class, and I was actually trying to become a pilot after high school. I graduated in 2009 from Carleton, Montreal High School. Played football for 4 years, played minor league, lacrosse until I think I broke my wrist, I believe. After graduation, I worked 2 jobs. I was a young father, needed to support a little family. I worked at Lakeland Ford for 3 years, from 8 to 5, and then from 5 to 11, 12-ish, I worked at Starbucks right across the street delivering Chinese food. I worked in Alberta after that for 3 years, worked my way up from shoveling to a lead hand as a supervisor and an operator. I was able to help many band members secure employment over there with the company I was working for. I moved back to Montreal in 2013. I worked at the arena as a maintenance man. I went to the health department as a custodian, taxi driver and security. Then I began to work as an operator for public works. And then in 2017, I was elected as the band counselor. A lot of speeches here mentioned teamwork, and we did amazing teamwork. And without them, I probably wouldn't have been successful in most of my projects. They always helped me whenever I needed, and I've always helped them. In Montreal Lake, I was able to update the new fire truck. I fixed up our sliding hill. It was burnt. It's no good. I I was able to get the youth center going. It took 4 years, but I got it done. Skate park, worked with a store, an MLBB. I built 4 parks. At the daycare school, Old Sub and New Sub, I brought thousands of dollars of donations to our Sports and Rec program. I've also had donations sent here to the Sports and Rec program here in Little Red. I've always thought we were one big community. I don't look at different sectors. I think we're all big one community. I updated the vans. I started a shuttle service in Montreal Lake where elders get free rides to Prince Albert because people had to pay $80, $100 just to get to PA to get groceries, and I didn't like that. So I offered a shuttle service, and adults were, I think, $10 or something just to offset the cost for gas. So we weren't making money, but we're also helping the band members. I've always supported our youth, our elders, and everyone in between. I always worked as a team, and when the chief and council needed help, I was always there to help. Some of the projects I worked on in Montreal Lake were new landfill, water treatment plant, drainage project, new lagoon, and a lot of gravel projects. Oh, I just got nervous all of a sudden here. It looks like I'm rushing myself. I got 10 minutes here. Okay, I'll slow it down here. I know it's sometimes you get nervous, but it's part of the job, and you gotta finding loans. But we're out of it was getting out of bad debt. Now we're in good debt, which means we have lower interest rate with the banks. The banks took over our creditors, so we have a little lower interest with the bank. Got a new loan for equipment. Updated our excavator loader. 2 years ago, we did the backhoe. In Little Red here, I've helped the best I can. I was a part of the blue building getting started. I graveled the road, I believe I don't think I was able to go from the store there, but I went from the store to the bridge there, graveled that all around the sub here. I did that as a project. I updated the health bands here with my team. When I say I mean a team, so I've always helped the best I can. Lisa and Charmaine were amazing. They're good to work with, and I've always helped the best I can. We updated new health bands. The youth center, we got it going. I helped out there. We had a Keep Warm project. Got that going. Also, I'm an advocate to the capital projects here, including the treatment plant, garbage dump, and the lagoon. I do believe we upgraded the grader here and the sewer truck maybe 3 years ago. 2 years ago, we updated here. Off reserve, I've helped do the best I can. All know September Bay. I've always sent equipment there to snow removal and firewood. There's some projects on the reserve I'd like to keep going. Is our light project, our baseball field and soccer field. I have poles up right now. Just the light parts need to be done. I would like to finish that. I'd like to build a dirt bike track in Montreal Lake and an indoor swimming pool. I got as far as building, getting blueprints and the cost of it, but I ran out of time looking for money. Some proposals I'd like to keep working at with the band. We got a new proposal in that $2.2 million fire hall. We got approved for that. Transportation one was a new charter bus and van. That was a $1.2 million proposal that got approved, so I'd like to keep working at that. I'd like to finish the nursing station. That one has been a real tough since I got it about 5 years ago. I remember getting it, we were at a meeting where I was on my phone, I believe, and everyone was talking, it was just off topic, and they were like, okay, we need someone to run this, get this nursing station going. And I had my head down, and I knew they were all looking at me. So when I looked up, chief and council were all looking at me, I was like, okay, I got this. So middle of August, it will be complete. I've been working on that. Securing funding for that was not easy, but we got it done with the team I had. Thank you everyone for coming out, and good luck to whoever is running. If elected, I'll keep doing my best. Montreal Lake, Little Red, and PA. With that, safe travels, and thank you.
March 16th is when the chief electoral officer will publish things that occurred for with all the nominations and the acclamations that could occur. That's not up to us deputy officials to do that. That's why there's no mention of that here tonight. So if I could have another candidate for Montreal, see Ricky.
Good evening, folks. First off, I'd like to thank the creator for getting us all here safely. We had a bit of a snowstorm coming in, but just we got our road and cleared up. I'd like to thank Josephine for the opening prayer, the deputy electoral officers here for all the hard work you guys do. Just a little bio about myself here. Everybody looks hungry, food's getting cold, so my name is Ricky Bird. I'm 42 years old. I am the grandson of Senator Alan Bird and Sally Victoria Bird. My mom, Bev Bird, and my dad is late Rick Nelson from Wiakville. Just go back to my work history here. I first graduated from Montreal Lake School, Senator Alan Bird Memorial School, 2002. And after that, I think I worked for the band for 15 years. 9 years, I was a radio jockey for Montreal Lake, plus a daytime security. I also forgot to mention last night, I was a sports and rec worker for a year. Then I moved on to the school for 6 years, 4 years as TA and 2 as the liaison. And I am a big advocate for the youth, as I was coaching while I was on council. And one of the biggest portfolios I held was housing, which was probably one of the hardest ones you could hold. But I'm proud to say this year alone, we are getting $4.2 million for housing, which will probably 20 houses. A few of them will be 5-plexes. So, and of course, some of the houses are going to live right here. So, with that, folks, I just want to introduce myself, Ricky Bird, and I'd like to thank my nominator, Norman Ross Jr., and my seconder, Brendan Tawa. I just humbly and respectfully ask for your support. March 31st, vote me, Ricky D. Bird, for council. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to say thank you to the elder for the prayer, and thank you to the officers here for coming out today. I'm sorry I'm a little underdressed. I know I'm wearing all black. I was at the funeral today. Sending out my condolences. But one thing I just wanted to say, like, my mom's name is Naitama. She was born and raised in Little Red. My mind just went blank. It is hard to come up here and talk, especially when, like I said last night, I've been working for mobile security for about 6 years. It's a different community in Montreal Lake at night, I'll say that for sure. Some are good, some are bad, but every time I've overcome the obstacles that was put before me. And I graduated in Montreal Lake at the Senator Alan Bird Memorial School back in 2014. I also forgot to mention last night that I was the SRC chief back in 2013 and 2014 in the school. I remember I got valedictorian in 2014 when I graduated, and I handed the reins to one of my classmates, Mr. Lloyd, because I didn't want to do a speech, because I was too shy at the time. And then, sure enough, there was about maybe 10 years later after I did that, I was told that I had to do a speech because I was the youth chief for the school. But yeah, I also want to say I was a part of the group that started the Skyak Uniganimo back in 2015 and 2016. We were established. There was a group of us There's me, Cal, Tanis, Nitao, that started it. It was just a small little group that we wanted to put our names out there to be role models, just so that we could get more youth involved in our community. And that's also what I wanted to do here yesterday and today. Just wanted to be a role model for the youth. And I know the food's getting cold, so I wanted to keep it nice and short. I know I was going to say 2 minutes, and it's already been 3.5 minutes. So. But yeah, I hope you guys all have a safe ride home. I know it's kind of snowy out there. I hope the pavements are still down on the highways. I know a lot of people always ask, how's the highways? I say, well, they're still there. It is winter outside, so yeah, it's a little struggle when you drive in the winter. But yeah, I humbly ask for your support on March 31st. My name is Keanu Henderson. Have a good night.
Thank you. So having received all eligible nominations for councillor, I hereby close the floor for nominations of councillor. Just want to go over a few things. Electors and candidates are advised that there will be an election on March 31st, 2023. Electronic voting will start on March 20th until March 31st, and there will be no advance polls. Since electronic polling and multiple physical polling are available, all notices and voting event information is located at the One Feather website or can be requested directly from the electoral officer. I hereby close this nomination